Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to dive in and show you exactly how we were able to take a brand from $50,000 a month in email marketing revenue to over $157,000 a month in email marketing revenue in just 2 months. Now, I'm going to share my screen in just a sec, but just before I dive in, I want to pause for a second because this is really important. And honestly, this is where most brands really leave a lot of money on the table. So many brands make the mistake of thinking that email is just binary. Either they have it or they don't. But here's the reality. What we found is a lot of brands are leaving a lot of money on the table just because they think, oh yeah, I'm sending 2 campaigns a month or 2 campaigns a week, or we're sending campaigns already, or yeah, we've got our flow set up. We have our welcome, we have our abandoned cart or browse abandonment or other flows set up, or just looking at the percentage of revenue from email. But here's something that most email agencies won't actually tell you. The percentage of revenue from email isn't a great number to look at to see your potential. Really what it shows is how efficient or inefficient your other marketing efforts might be. This client, for example, was doing about 24% of their revenue from email prior to working with us, but leaving a ton of money on the table. But it's also tough to know your potential if you don't really have benchmarks or any sort of comparison. So I'm hoping that this video will help you with that, but we're actually also offering a complimentary audit for brands doing over $50,000 a month in revenue, just to see if there is money being left on the table. So, if you're interested in that, you can check that out. But anyways, let's dive in and show you exactly how we did this for this brand. Okay, so the first thing I want to walk through is just their revenue. Just so you know, I'm not BSing you here. You can see September 1st to 30th, they did about $51,000 in sales. October 1st to 31st, they did $67,000 in sales. We took over partway through this month, which was a 50% year-over-year increase. November, they did $157,000 in sales, which is about 50% of their overall revenue and 73% year-over-year increase. And then December, they did $143,000 in sales, which is about 60% of their revenue and a 63% year-over-year increase. So I'm going to dive in. I'm going to show you exactly how we did it, how you can too. I'm going to show you kind of step by step what we did as well. So the first thing we started with, and this is honestly the least sexy thing, but bear with me because this alone could save you thousands of dollars per month, and it saved them about $9,000 over the course of a year. So this is list cleaning. So they were basically blasting everyone on their list multiple times a month. You can see everyone here, everyone. You can see that they were sending to everyone on their list multiple times a month, which was a pretty big issue. And the reason that was an issue is because they were sending these people emails and people weren't opening, people weren't clicking. And what kind of indicated that to us was when you look at the people who are, receiving these emails, 22% open rate, not great. 18% open rate, yikes. Here's 17% open rate. And then the engagement on that is also just terrible. It's just not great. So what we were looking at there is then saying, okay, well, a lot of those people are probably just not engaged. So we found that they had about 70,000 people that were not engaged and had not opened, clicked, or otherwise engaged with their brand or their email in the last 30, 60, 90, 120, 180 days even. So the first thing we wanted to do was create an unengaged segment and determine what that actually means to them. So what we figured out was that if anyone had received an email 15 or more times and had opened and clicked that email 0 times, then they were just not engaged. The hope of actually getting them to purchase or even just engage with the email was virtually nil. So what we wanted to do first is just determine what unengaged meant. Now, once we did that, we created a sunset flow as kind of a last ditch effort to get people engaged. What we did here is, and the sunset flow is really used for getting people from never engaging essentially, or just people like this who have not engaged at all, getting those people and sending them a text-based email. The reason we send a text-based email is because we want to avoid any sort of spam filters that we may have on our account based off of images or the content we're sending. We want to send something super basic, get them into that flow. And then if they don't respond from that flow, we put them into an unengaged. We filter them and tag them with an unengaged tag and basically say, these people are unengaged, get them off the list. We don't want to pay for them. And then we suppress those people. So we saved them about $9,000 just by doing that. So that's the first thing. And start with that. That will impact your results hand over fist if you just do that. So the next thing is just segmenting, right? So what we saw is that they were batching and blasting, poor open rates, poor click rates. So what we did is we created segments that were a lot more engaged. So we had a 3-day engaged, a 7-day engaged, a 30-day engaged. We actually did a 90-day and a 60-day engaged as well. And basically what that's indicating is people have expressed some degree of engagement. So they've opened or clicked or otherwise engaged with the brand in the last whatever time period. What we also wanted to do though is create segments of people who have purchased recent products or people who have just engaged with recent products or certain products as well. So what I would look at here, and the reason we want to create this is, if someone just purchased a magnesium product, one of 3 things is true. Either they haven't received their product, which means we shouldn't email them about the magnesium product. Number 2 is they received it and they love it, which means they'll come back and buy, and they should have another email or another flow. Or 3, they bought it and they don't like it, which means, again, we shouldn't be emailing them. Either one of those cases, we should not be emailing them. So we want to make sure we're excluding those people from our campaigns as well. So once we built that out, we were able to dramatically improve engagement and honestly just revenue overall just by doing that. The other area that we saw a huge lift was from step 3, which is basically just increasing the quality, quantity, and frequency of campaigns. So previously they were sending about 3 emails per month. You can kind of go in and see here they were doing in September, I think they sent about 12 emails total. What we started doing, instead of sending 3 emails a month, we started sending about 4 to 5, and then we ramped that up to 5 to 6. But here's the thing, we weren't just batching and blasting the entire list. We were hyper segmenting and sending it to people who were very, very interested. But beyond the segmentation side of things, we also changed up their content. So they were very, very heavily focused on sales. And what we started doing is looking at product spotlights, looking at value-based emails, and just sending people content that they're actually interested in. So they sell health products, supplement products. So what we were sending them is value-based things like health tips for the winter, certain product spotlights, so talking about a certain product. And the crazy thing is here, it doesn't happen instantly, but it happens over time, is that people become more engaged. They actually look forward to seeing your email, right? And beyond that, you start generating sales, even though you're not promoting sales, right? Previously, if you look at all of their campaigns before working with us, they had focus up, and this was a sale email, sale ending soon, Labor Day, it's a Labor Day sale, back to school sale, last chance sale, fall immunity sale. All of these were sales, right? But what was really interesting is when we started segmenting more and when we started sending these value-based emails, we were actually getting more revenue per email from value-based emails than they were previously from sending just sales. So looking at this, we have our magnesium product spotlight. They generated almost $6,000 in revenue. Our product spotlight for the glutathione patch, $2,700 in revenue. $3,600 from a value-based email that didn't even have a link in it. It's crazy, right? And adding that value to people will go a super, super, super long way. So that's the kind of next thing that we focused on. It's just providing more value to people and promoting emails or sending emails that were actually relevant to people. So the final piece of the puzzle was actually flows. Now, when we just got started working with them, we wanted to set up the basics. So we set up the welcome series, the browse abandonment, and the abandoned checkout to start. We then build out the abandoned cart and the thank you series and the win back series. We're still building out flows for them because, again, we hit the busiest time of the year. We needed to get those campaigns done. And now it's how can we optimize things? How can we make things better with the flows? But those were kind of our core focuses in terms of flows. And those alone are generating an extra $10,000 to $15,000 a month for these guys. And that's more on autopilot. What we do though, and for any sort of flow, we always want to be A/B testing, right? You can see there's these A/B tests that are currently live with our welcome, our browse abandonment, and our abandoned checkout. What you don't see is the tests that are in here as well that are testing send time. Testing the send time for a win back series or testing the send time for an abandoned cart can have a huge impact. So these are really, really important things to do. Like I said, that's kind of the final piece of the puzzle here. So if you do have an e-com brand and you are doing over $50,000 a month in revenue, then I would encourage you to check out one of the links above or below this video. Basically, we have a performance-based incentive where we get paid when we get results. And if we align well and we think it's a good fit, we'll effectively do a kind of complimentary audit for you. See if there are any pitfalls, see if there are any areas for improvement. If there are, cool, we'll work with you. If not, if you're rock solid already, we'll let you know that too. But if you are interested, click the link below. You can apply to work with us, and I hope to chat with you soon. Thanks so much.